the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Josh All, your host on a Wednesday after doing the Tuesday show yesterday. I don't typically do multiple solo shows a week, but this time around things are happening and we just need to talk about it. Plus, I got 4 voicemails from you guys yesterday afternoon that I thought, first of all the voicemails were very good. You guys brought up great points and asked some very good questions that I don't want to snub and push off until Thursday or just not even be able to do this week. I want to answer them and get that out there for you guys because I was happy to hear what you guys have to say. And we also need to talk about Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, we talked yesterday about how Mary Kay Cabot unofficially declared him to be the starter on Sunday against the Raiders. But now today it has been made official by the Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski. So we're going to talk about all that too real quick. Probably a shorter episode today, but still just want to get these thoughts and everything out to you guys. If you want to be part of the Dog Pack and be part of the Discord live episodes, the next one will happen tomorrow, Thursday at 5 o'clock p.m. in the Discord. Go to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. Help support the show. It's a great way to do that. If you're, if you like what we're doing, you like the content, you appreciate the show and all that stuff, want to help us grow and be a part of that, jointhedogs.com is the place to go. And then you can sync up the private Discord with your Patreon, all that kind of stuff. Get in to the 24/7 conversations happening in there with all of our diehard Browns fans. They're the best, and you guys are the best. We appreciate everybody tuning in to the show. Okay, so Kevin Stefanski's press conference today. I haven't listened, I didn't even read the transcript or anything today. All I know is I saw that he said that Shedeur Sanders will be the starter on Sunday in Las Vegas against the Raiders. Dillon Gabriel obviously still going through concussion protocol. We knew there was a very slim to potentially no chance that he gets cleared from the protocol in less than a week. So Stefanski says Shedeur Sanders will get all the first team reps this week leading up to the game. Now, this is the thing that's going to happen. Bailey Zappi will be elevated to the active roster from the practice squad. He will be the QB2. Now, none of this was said, at least as far as I know. None of this was said. I'm just telling you logically, this is what's going to happen. He's going to get elevated. He will be the QB2 for the game on Sunday. If any reports come out this week that Bailey Zappi took any first-team reps in practice, there is going to be a shitstorm like no shitstorms you have seen yet this season around Shedeur Sanders because Sanders took no first-team reps ever in all his time here in Cleveland. Never taken a first-team rep. Specifically never taken a first-team rep even when he was the QB2, despite Dillon Gabriel getting first-team reps when he was the QB2. So for everybody who says, hey, the QB2 never takes first-team reps, that's just not something NFL teams do. All 32 teams give all the reps to the QB1. Not true. Not true. The Cleveland Browns themselves gave first-team reps to their backup quarterback earlier this season and then decided to stop doing that once Shedeur Sanders was the QB2. So this will be interesting. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying those reports are going to come out. I'm just saying watch for it. If it happens, holy crap. But one other thing I want to talk about with Shedeur before I get to your guys' voicemails was the call-in, the report from Albert Breer to 92.3 The Fan the other day. I just put out a short video talking about this. But he is saying, from his understanding or from what he's been told, what he's heard, is that Kevin Stefanski reportedly told the offensive staff before the season, so this could be at any point over training camp or going all the way back to the draft, most likely in my opinion, that this year would be a scheduled redshirt season for Shedeur Sanders. So, if that's true, I posted this on X. It tells me a couple things. Number one, unless Kevin Stefanski or some team official told Albert Breer this, and this is like the team's official, they're coming out and they're reporting, and the Browns themselves are saying, hey, look, we planned for Shedeur not to really play this year. It was going to be a redshirt year. If that's not the case, if they're not the ones saying this, then it looks like the Browns have a leak. Looks like someone within the organization wants people out here to know that Kevin Stefanski never intended to play Shedeur Sanders this year, or he was going to get maybe the last game or two just to get his feet wet in the NFL. But as far as getting ample opportunity and playing time to really show what he can do, that was never in the plans as far as the head coach was concerned. Where it gets interesting, one, the team owner before the season said that it's important to see both rookie quarterbacks on the field this season to get an evaluation of them. So that means if Kevin wasn't planning on playing Shedeur or giving him any sort of major opportunities this year, that goes against what Jimmy Haslam said before the season. But it also plays into when Kevin named Dillon Gabriel the starter and then said Shedeur Sanders will not be the QB2. He will remain as the emergency quarterback 3. Joe Flacco will revert down to QB2. It goes to the idea and the speculation on my part, my strong belief that Andrew Berry said, oh, really? You want Joe Flacco to be the QB2? How about I just trade him away? How about we just remove Joe from the equation and then we don't have to worry about it? And I think that is exactly what happened. And everybody will say, oh, well, I mean, come on, he got a draft pick for Joe Flacco. Yes and no. He traded a draft pick with Joe Flacco to get a draft pick. He moved up, I don't even know if it was a full round in the draft, but he moved from, the 6th round to the 5th round by trading Joe Flacco. Okay, whoop-de-doo, nice, whatever. It's a 5th round pick. I'm not super, that's not the point. I think the bigger beneficiary of Joe Flacco being traded was Shedeur Sanders getting moved up to QB2. From the front office perspective. So it all goes back to Shedeur Sanders was not Kevin Stefanski's pick. It was Andrew Berry's pick. We've heard those reports. And it would make sense that from a general manager perspective, from the front office, you're watching the games. They're watching the games like we are. And all you see when Dillon Gabriel plays football, it's clear he's not an NFL quarterback. It's clear he's not good. He's not gonna, No, you guys told us for 6 months or however long it's been now, half a year, that this kid is the most pro ready. He can run an NFL offense. He understands everything, blah, 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 supercomputer, my ass. He sucks, okay? So it's time to see what the other draft pick has. And, if I'm the front office, I made the draft pick. I used draft capital to get this guy. Let's see what he can do. I don't care about your plans for redshirting. Let's see what he can do. So it's interesting. This could indicate a bit of a power struggle within the Browns organization between the front office and the coaching staff, and just does not feel like the alignment that they preach that they have all the time is really in place anymore. So we will get to see Shedeur Sanders for the first time, getting first-team reps all week in practice, and a game plan, according to what Kevin Stefanski said way back when, that Shedeur Sanders, whenever he does get, or if he gets an opportunity to start, whatever, will have a full week of a game plan tailored for him. So let's see what this offensive genius, offensive guru, and Tommy Rees and all these, really smart offensive minds can game plan for Shedeur Sanders this week. I anticipate nothing changing. I think the offense is going to look so stupid again. There's not going to be any special, pass protection, situations with the line or bringing anybody in to help. There's not going to be any short developing pass routes or quick, easy throws for him. They just don't. I'm sorry. You guys know how I feel. This offense is bad. It's stupid. I mean, it's bad because the players aren't very good, but it's also bad because the offensive scheme, the play calling, the design of everything, it doesn't benefit anybody. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I know Blake likes to say that, you could put any quarterback in this offense or give, the offense to any coach could come in here with these players and it would all be the same. I don't necessarily agree. I don't think it would ever be great because of the players that are on the field and on the roster. But I do think that there are coaches out there who could get more out of this offense than what Kevin's getting out of them. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. That's my belief, and I am sticking to it. Okay, let's go to, I want to get this first voicemail played. Let's do Bobby. Let's get Bobby's voicemail in here first. He's got a unique perspective from being at the game against the Ravens this past Sunday.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bobby. Figured I'd leave another voicemail after my crazy screaming and yelling Sunday when Shedeur came in. I was really excited then, and I'm still excited now. Looking forward to see what he's going to do, but a couple things I wanted to touch on was I was super fortunate with my seats, front row behind the Browns bench. You get to see a lot you don't see on TV, and it really sucked to see the offense come off the field after every drive, and everyone looks pissed off. No smiles. No one's happy. But obviously, what is there to be happy about? But especially seeing Judkins, man. Judkins after every drive was upset, slamming his helmet down. At one point, Stefanski was in Tillman's face, extremely frustrated. I don't know what happened. I wasn't too sure what happened, if anyone knows. But I don't know, man. There's a lot going on. Go Browns, baby. Hoo, 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 hoo.
All right, Bobby, thank you so much for that insight from the game, from when you were there and everything. The one question I would have, and if you're out there listening, you want to put it in a comment somewhere, I'll see if I can find it later. At what point in the game was Kevin getting in Tillman's face? Was it after, Shedeur threw the interception? Was it after one of the drives that ended in a sack? When was it? When did you see that happen? And then I could probably go back and maybe look at some all 22 from that specific series before they came off the field and maybe figure out what Kevin might have been pissed off about with Cedric Tillman. So let me know on that. And then to your other point about like Quinshawn coming off and slamming his helmet, this is the kind of stuff we did not want to see this year with this team. And it goes to my belief that the offense itself, the design and the way things are run and called and all that kind of stuff doesn't help anybody. I have a hard time believing that Quinshawn's coming off slamming his helmet because he's mad at Shedeur. I think he's coming off because he's frustrated that no matter what we do, this offense can't do anything. And I'm frustrated watching it. As a fan, it's the same thing over and over, and it's been like that for years. And there's no way I want anything to do with this coaching staff moving into next year. Let's go to Josh's voicemail. This is Josh from Ireland.
How's it going, Josh here? Massive Browns fan, Dublin, Ireland. We're kind of like a two-part question here. So I'm saying, this Sunday, if Shedeur balls out against the Raiders and wins, like, he should be the starter for the rest of the season, in my opinion. And if so, if he won like 3 games the rest of the season, do you think that would be enough to save Stefanski's job? Or do you think the decision's already been made that we're going to get a clean slate next year and a whole new regime? And 2, if he Shedeur did win those games, do you think that would stop them from drafting a quarterback next year? Because personally, I'd rather see us invest in receivers and the O-line if Shedeur showed us something. Now, I am a Shedeur fan, and I do hope that's the case, because I know Sunday wasn't great, but I saw enough in a couple of those throws like to get excited. I've seen more in those 2 quarters of football than we've seen from Dillon Gabriel in his starts. So yeah, they're my 2 questions basically. If he wins games, will he be the starter next year going forward, and will it save Stefanski's job? Thanks.
All right, great questions, Josh. Appreciate coming all the way from Ireland. I love how international this podcast is, because that's how international Browns fans are. Like, Browns fans are all over the world. And a lot of people outside of the fan base don't understand or realize just how robust, how widespread, and how loyal this fan base is. But I love you guys. You guys are the best. To get to your questions there, Josh, one, I would not anticipate Shedeur, quote unquote, balling out in Vegas against the Raiders. And that has nothing to do with Shedeur specifically. It's more the entire offense in general. It's the lack of offensive line skill. It's the lack of wide receiver ability, all that kind of stuff. And they have Max Crosby and all that. Like, I think it's going to be a rough game. I don't think it's going to be like the Browns come and just put, belt to butt cheeks on this one. I could be wrong. I was really wrong about last week. I thought for sure the Ravens were going to belt to butt cheek us, but they didn't. So if Shedeur balling out or having a good game would be something like 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, hopefully no turnovers. That'd be cool. He's going to take sacks. It's going to happen with his habits. And again, that's just, he hasn't had no time to work those out. He has had no reps to do so. So with his habits and with the offensive line, it's going to happen. Like, there's going to be sacks. Max Crosby going to get sacks. It is what it is. I think if Shedeur plays well and the Browns win, even if he plays well and even if the Browns win, as soon as Dillon Gabriel's clear from concussion protocol, he's the starter. He will be back to the starting quarterback for the Browns. I don't think anything Shedeur can do on Sunday will change that. So it kind of erases the whole point of, can Shedeur's performance over the end of the season here save Stefanski's job? I don't think it matters, because I don't think there's going to be that opportunity. You said, what if Shedeur wins like 3 games over these final 7? Shedeur's not going to get a chance to win 3 games, because I don't think he gets a chance to play 3 games. I mean, unless Kevin is forced. I mean, the front office, Jimmy, they're going to have to pretty much tell him, you will sit Dillon Gabriel down, because remember, the only way to get Shedeur to be the starter outside of another injury for Dillon is for Kevin to actively bench him. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. This episode is sponsored by Boden Sports. Browns fans, I know Thanksgiving is the next thing on the list, but if you're in my house, we have had Christmas decorated all over the place since November 1st. That's right. It is coming up very quickly, Christmas time. And the best thing you can do is get ahead of your gift giving list and go to bodensports.com/dogs, DAWGS, and check out everything they have to offer, and use promo code DAWGS to get 10% off your entire order. You could find some really nice Christmas gifts for the athletes in your life. Obviously, baseball season would be right around the corner in the spring. They've got training balls. They've got regular game baseballs, bats, baseball gloves, all sorts of basketballs and other gear, pumps, ball bags, gym bags, things like that for your basketball players. And then the gifts that I really like to give family members and people like that would be the backyard games. Get those for Christmas gifts, because then they can hold on to those and break them out when the weather gets nice. And it's like that Christmas gift that didn't get used right away at Christmas, and they get to experience that joy again later in the year. Badminton, outdoor volleyball, bocce, horseshoes, kickball. They've got a knockout game set. And of course, pickleball, which I know I've been saying on here I need to learn how to play. I haven't yet, but I do plan to learn at some point, and I will be getting my first pickleball set from Boden Sports. So head over to bodensports.com/dogs and get 10% off your entire order with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. That's Boden Sports, BADEN sports.com/dogs. But your question about whether or not Shedeur's performance at any point can keep the Browns from drafting a quarterback next year in the first round, I think that has more to do with whether or not, so much if Kevin keeps his job, it has more to do with whether or not the front office keeps their jobs. Because if we roll into 2026 with the same front office, and they invested all these draft picks this year in 25 to Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, I think there would be a higher chance, a higher probability that the Browns will roll into 2026 with Shedeur Sanders as an experimental year. Let's give him a year and just see what it looks like. Let's start building the rest of this offense up. I think that is the only way that happens. If you get a new regime coming in here, if you get a new front office, a new general manager, I think the probability is very high that no matter what Shedeur does this year, I think it's very high that they draft a quarterback next year with the first round pick, because a new regime typically wants their guy. They want to install the quarterback that they scouted, that they identified, that they picked, that they want onto the roster. The only time you get regimes coming into teams, new front offices and things like that, and they don't mess with the quarterback position, it's like whenever you get a new people coming in and you've got Justin Herbert, or you've got a Trevor Lawrence, a guy that they just paid massive contract money to last season, was a former number 1 overall pick, that kind of situation. Because we use the Browns as your own example here with this. Like, we got a whole new regime, a whole new front office, coaching staff that came in, and Baker Mayfield was already here as the quarterback, but he had not been handed any sort of major contractual obligation for them to keep him. And they didn't. They moved on the first chance they got to try to get somebody that they thought was their guy to run the offense and to be the franchise quarterback. Turned out it was a bad decision, a very bad choice, but that is what happened. That's what generally happens in the NFL. So I think a lot of Shedeur's future here really does depend more on the front office and Andrew Berry's, future here, if he has one, than it does Kevin. But that's just kind of my take on that. Next up, we've got Zach, or our, how we like to call him, Fake Burns.
What's going on? I just wanted to answer Josh's question from the last podcast because I'm not able to join the live shows on Thursdays to preview the games because I'm at work. But if Shedeur has even just a slightly decent game and Gabriel gets cleared and he's declared the starter after Sunday, I genuinely think that is coaching malpractice. I know we've talked about it many times and we're kind of throwing that around, but I mean, that would just be ridiculous. And this is coming from someone that was a huge Stefanski supporter even a month ago. I think that would be the final foot in the grave in terms of his job and career as a head coach with the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Gabriel should see the field for the rest of the year, even if Shedeur has a slightly above average game because of the amount of prep time he's had in comparison to Gabriel. And that's not a shot at Gabriel at all. It's that I am just ready to see something different. I don't think Gabriel's the answer. With that being said, I think it would be an awful look on us fans if Gabriel does go back in the following week and we boo him out the building, because that's not his fault. He's a young kid wanting to play football. At the end of the day, he wants to win for the Browns, and I can appreciate that without booing him out of the stadium. But Stefanski, on the other hand, if we could show we're unhappy with him in that sense, I think that would be better. But go Browns. Hoo-hoo.
To be fair, Mr. Fake Burns, Zach, I think a lot of the boo birds that you hear at games now, different scenario for when Deshaun Watson was playing, because I think fans were genuinely booing him. But I think for the most part, when you get the boo birds out at any NFL game, like I watched some games, last Sunday before the Browns played, and there were boos raining down at home stadiums from home crowds. And it wasn't necessarily like, boo, we hate our quarterback. It's, boo, what you're doing on offense right now as a team blows. You guys suck. And I think that the boo birds are generally directed at Kevin Stefanski and this whole like Browns regime, because nobody's booing. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. I don't think many people are actually booing Dillon Gabriel. It's more so booing Kevin Stefanski because he's putting Dillon Gabriel on the field. I say all the time, I like Dillon Gabriel. I think he's a good guy. I don't want him playing quarterback for my team. So if I'm at the game, yeah, I'm going to boo whenever he throws a ball into the dirt because he has no arm strength. But I'm not booing Dillon. I'm booing Kevin for putting Dillon on the field for my team. Sick and tired of it. Just like it sounds like you are. And to kind of go to what you were saying, I already covered this, but even if Shedeur has an above average game against the Raiders, as soon as Dillon's healthy, he's back to the starter. I will be shocked. I will be shocked. And it doesn't mean it can't happen, but it will floor me if Dillon is healthy next week for the 49ers at home and they continue to stick with Shedeur as the starter. That'll be crazy to me, but we'll see. We will see what happens. And now I got the final voicemail. We're going to wrap things up after this. Like I said, a little shorter episode today. This one is from Justin in Jersey.
Hi, Dog Podcast. It's Justin from Jersey here again. I just want to hop on here real quick, kind of midweek. I keep seeing all these posts regarding, these mock drafts, like, we're mocked to draft another quarterback. Like, I just don't understand it. Like, the formula is so simple, it's not even funny. Shedeur, start him the rest of the season. All off season and training camp, Shedeur. He gets all the first team reps with all the receivers, and that's it. You start him next season. We don't need to draft a quarterback. What we need to do, draft 2 badass wide receivers in the first round next year with our 2 first-round picks. There you go. You got 2 first-round draft pick wide receivers, Shedeur Sanders and Quinshon Judkins. Problem solved. Anyway, let's see what happens. They'll probably screw this up. Ooh.
Now that right there, Justin, is spoken like a true Browns fan. They're probably going to screw this up. Yeah, I think that is the mindset of every Browns fan who's been with this team for any length of time. Honestly, we've seen them do it over and over and over in the past. But I agree with you. The formula is simple. And that's just a quick aside here. That's part of the reason why we started this podcast back in 2020 when we did, because, we would be texting each other, me, Blake, and everything. And I'd be talking to other Browns fans like, I don't feel like it's this hard. I don't feel like it should be this hard to be competitive or just be good, in the NFL. Because we could watch games and say, well, this is what they should call, but this is probably what they're going to call. And then they would call what we say, this is what they're going to call. And it wouldn't work. And we felt like, man, is it really this hard? And then you look at the draft. a lot of times. It's like, well, if I was here, I would just take this guy. And then they would take some other dude. It wouldn't work out. And the guy that I thought, or we thought they should take or could take, ends up being a stud wherever he goes. And it's like, why is it so hard? If we can figure this out and say what the team should do to be successful, why can't they? So I am with you that the recipe should be simple for this. And I said it on the show before. Roll into 2026 with Shedeur Sanders as your starter. Use those first round picks on a receiver. And I'm with you a little bit on the 2 receivers, kind of double tap the position, all that kind of stuff. But we really do need an offensive tackle. And I think, and again, I haven't done any draft prep yet. Obviously, the college football season's still going on. Once we get into that part of the year, the draft season, I'll really dive into and focus on these positions that the Browns desperately need. And we will see who's projected to be available where when we got draft, ordering, kind of finalized and all that stuff. I think we need offensive tackle in a dire way. I think we definitely need wide receivers. And the thing to remember is we do have 2 first-round picks, and we will have a very early second-round pick as well. So we will have 3 picks probably in the top 35, 36, 37 picks. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You got to hit on all 3 of them. So for me, wide receiver seems so important to take in the first round, because once you get out of the first round and that top level of talent each year, you're really taking dart throws. You really are. I mean, you can wind up with an A.J. Brown in the second round, a DK Metcalf. You could wind up with Amon-Ra St. Brown in the third, or Puka Nacua in the fifth. But man, you got to be pretty good at identifying, evaluating talent, which I have zero faith that this Browns organization can do at the wide receiver position. I think unless they draft a very obviously talented, good wide receiver that's on the board early, I don't have faith that they're going to get that position figured out. So we will see. That is the direction right now as of, November 19th, 2025. That's the direction I'm leaning. Just roll with Shedeur next year. You got a guy who was touted as first-round talent anyway. Got him in the 5th round. Okay, so you are going to pretty much redshirt him this year because he's not going to get enough opportunity to show you what you want to see. Go with him next year. Go with him now. Give him an offseason, like you said, Justin. Give him all the reps in training camp, all the reps in everything. Just give him the keys. Just give him the keys for a year and see what happens. See what happens, because I still think that there's a chance that the Browns, I don't think we'll lose to the Titans at home, not with the way our defense plays at home. And, that would give us what? 3 wins. I don't know if we win in Vegas this week. We'll see. I don't think we're going to have the first pick. I think that if we want to get into a spot early in the draft where we get our pick at quarterback, like there's one quarterback that the Browns really want and they got to trade up to get him, I think it's going to be really tough, because I think you're going to be trying to get ahead of teams that are already ahead of you, like the Saints, possibly like the Jets, and like the Titans will be up there, and they'll probably trade that pick to the highest bidder for somebody to come up and get Fernando Mendoza, to come up and get Ty Simpson or Dante Moore. And quite honestly, I haven't done the draft prep, so I don't know if any of those 3 guys are somebody I would want anyway over Shedeur for next year. So we'll see how it goes, obviously, but I don't disagree. I think you're spot on right now with that thinking of we got a guy we can see what he has next year, but we really need to get these other positions in place. And if you've got 3 picks in the top 35 or 36 picks, and you can use 2 of them on wide receivers and 1 of them on an offensive tackle, and then you've got an early 3rd round pick that you can use maybe on another tackle or something, God, do not draft defense, Browns. You guys draft defense in the first 3 rounds in April, and I am going to flip my lid, man. It's going to be bad. Offense. I can't watch any more of what you guys are putting out on the field. This is a joke. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your voicemails. Appreciate you guys sending them in, prompting me to do an impromptu episode here on a Wednesday. It was a good time to do it anyway. We got the news, the confirmation that Shedeur will start. So let me know in the comments your guys' thoughts, opinions. What are you expecting from Shedeur Sanders this Sunday against the Raiders? We will do the full preview show in the Discord, Dog Pack Discord live tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then obviously the recording of that episode will be published out afterward for everybody else to watch and listen to. So if you want to be part of that episode, you want to be part of these lives, and again, I'm going to do the Dog Pack Discord live shows into the winter, into the spring. I'm going to do them. The plan is to do one a week, and that way we can get everybody in there. We'll be talking draft picks. We'll be talking prospects. We'll be talking free agency. We'll be talking potential, maybe new coaching hires. Who knows what's going to happen, but we'll be there to discuss all of it with you guys. So that's at jointhedogs.com. Become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page. Sync up with the private Discord. Get in there, hang out with everybody, and help support the show. We appreciate you guys. Like I say all the time, you're the best fans in the world, and you're the best audience that we could possibly ask for. So thank you for everything you do for us, and we're going to continue to put out the content for you guys. So until I talk to you guys tomorrow on the preview show, let's go Browns. Drop in the comments, what do you guys think it's going to be on Sunday when Shedeur Sanders takes the field for his first ever career NFL start?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by ISSA. Browns fans, if you're into health and fitness, have you ever wondered how you could maybe turn those hobbies and your passion into an actual career? If that sounds interesting to you, then ISSA has the opportunity you've been looking for. ISSA is the International Sports Science Association, and they can help you become a certified personal trainer in as little as 3 months. And right now you can get $100 off your certification when you sign up through our link, joinissa.com/dogs, DAWGS. Now, certifications are 100% online, self-study, and self-paced. You can study anywhere from your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, aka piece of cake. Except you fitness nuts probably don't eat a ton of cake, so let's just call it a piece of delicious protein bar. And ISSA has the #1 job guarantee in the industry. If you get certified and sign up to be a certified trainer with ISSA, you have a job guarantee or your money back. ISSA has over 10,000 gym partners that have over 73,000 open jobs for trainers right now. And you don't need a 4-year degree or a 2-year degree. You just need your certification to qualify for these jobs. So what are you waiting for? With certification this simple, there's no excuse not to pursue your passion and become a certified personal trainer today. Get $100 off your certification at joinissa.com/dogs. You've wanted to make a change long enough. Now it's time to do something about it. That's joinissa.com/dogs for $100 off your personal trainer certification.